his bank account.
That is statistically incorrect, Brian.
No, but
there is data. There's hard numbers, zeros and ones that will tell you everything coming out of your mouth right now is shiny dog.
You're saying that
when people ask, is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes.
Who and what is controlling everything and why? They practice sorcery. I can't argue against magic.
I don't know what it is that we live on, but I believe it's a realm. This realm that we live in is the lowest level of heaven, highest level of hell.
Chicken snake gods and the Anunnaki and sorcery. If Sam says the chicken and snake god is running everything, I'm literally in the world of crazy. I'm winning.
You're losing. Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deep Waters.
Welcome to Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deep Waters, aka Highway to the Danger Zone. Touchy subjects. Brian, good to see you.
Boy.
Hope you had a great Mother's Day.
Sure did, buddy.
With the many mothers.
Sure did. Didn't get my lady flowers or a card.
I like to hit up chicks I used to bang, go, this could have been your day, and just go bang quiet right there. Brian, I'm going to be in Mississippi June 2nd. Somebody please buy a ticket.
Come on, guys.
Come on. I know it's 1985 where you are. Let me come, drop hammer of God.
Me in Jackson, Mississippi. Tell them exactly where. Jackson, Mississippi. Where are you going to be?
Somewhere in there. Just buy a ticket.
Well, tell them where.
I'm actually moving tickets in Baton Rouge.
I know, but tell them where.
I don't know, Brian. I'm not that detail oriented.
You don't know where.
And then the American.
You don't even know where, and you. Like, how is this?
Just buy a ticket.
No,
find out. It's called Mystery Spots.
Where do they go?
Just click the link.
Unbelievable. Click the link.
You unbelievable.
This guy's the worst.
Come on, man.
I can't sell a ticket there.
Where are you going to be?
Nobody knows where the fuck to go.
Where are you going to be?
It doesn't even matter. Helium, and I'll be over Memorial Day. Helium in Philadelphia. Helium Comedy Club. Let's go. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, hold on.
Oh, you're playing Comedy Works? Where?
No, Denver.
I might go with you.
Downtown Denver. Oh, you should.
I should come on. Hey, guys, real quick, I want to do something called Fun Facts. Fun facts, and this is where we get a little honest with you and tell you something about ourselves so you know a little bit about us. Here's a fun fact about Sam Tripoli. I slept in these pants. That's my fun fact.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I just literally rolled out and just came here.
And you go, you know what? I went to bed, in camouflage. I'm going to walk around in camouflage so nobody can really see my lower body.
Yeah,
that's
what I did. Fun facts.
Yeah.
I am going on about 2 days of these pants.
How is your weight? How is your weight?
I'm working.
Battle going?
I'm working on it.
Working out?
Today I'm back to, I'm back. Brian, I did jiu-jitsu 3 times last week.
Wow.
By Friday, my legs were dead.
Yeah.
I was in Krav Maga, and I'm like, I can't kick. I can't kick. These legs are dead.
That's a lot.
And I got fucking choked out by a Mexican grizzly bear.
Yep. There are guys that kill you with their bare hands.
Mexicans are getting tired. I got the biggest one that was hit with gamma radiation.
Oh, yeah.
And he just fucking would not let me get out of his guard.
There was a Mexican guy who was a bricklayer that I used to do jiu-jitsu with. And I've never felt anybody stronger in my life.
Yeah, bricklayers
I've never
lay it
felt
down.
anyone stronger. He wasn't the most athletic and stuff like that, and I could always get behind him, but I have never felt a human being. He was quite clearly, it was the difference between a bear and a dog.
Yeah, I respect that.
The difference twixt a bear and a dog. All right. Let me start with a mea culpa. We're going to get into conspiracies. By
the way, real quick, can we start off with Brian's got shiny teeth? Go on.
I'm wearing my Invisalign.
That was premature. That was fine conversation. Sorry. Also, I slept in this shirt. All
right, bro.
Yeah.
Look at it, man.
All
this
right.
is called being really open about who we are.
Yeah,
There are a couple things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to relate to people.
I want to make some statements, and I want to give Sam some credit.
I love it.
Where it's due.
Thank you, buddy.
You're wrong.
I hate talking mean to you, but sometimes I watch our videos and I say mean stuff to you, and I get so upset.
Well,
Dana yells at me, stop talking to him like that. I go, you're right.
You know what? When you're right, you're right. So Sam always attributes a lot of cultural phenomenon pandemic phenomenon, all kinds of phenomenon to deep state activities. Ooh. And I always push back on that. I always say to Sam, you're a conspiracy theorist, and I make fun of him. However, there are a couple things that happened to me over the weekend. One, I watched the 60-minute special that came out, I think, in 1980, maybe a little later, on Nazi collaboration.
82, I believe.
82. There was Nazi collaboration. We, as the United States, the higher levels of intelligence, who were obsessed with with the Cold War. They were Cold Warriors. They were fighting the Soviets. We 100% citizenized Russian Nazi collaborators.
Yeah, like crazy.
Who killed hundreds of thousands of people in the worst way you can imagine. Not just Jews, but anyone, a lot of other people, but especially Jews in these Russian towns. In the worst way you can imagine. Well, to save bullets, they stacked them up on top of each other. Accident. They threw the babies. An accident. That's okay.
No, it was an accident.
They threw the babies into the graves, and they didn't kill them. They just figured we'll save them.
I mean, there's a level.
Things that make you question the existence of God. Let's be honest. Things that make you question.
Well, we all know that the Nazis were into dark occult magic. Go on.
Well, that was what. So Hitler had a policy of clearing out. I can't remember what he called it, but the area in Russia, primarily Ukraine, that was very fertile, and he wanted to clear it out of any Russian citizenry, and infiltrate it with Germans, people from the motherland, the fatherland.
Yeah.
So the way you do that is you kill entire villages.
Yeah, ethnically cleanse.
But they had Russian collaborators who did the dirty work. The Nazis hired these people. Now, because these Russian collaborators had a lot of information on the Soviets themselves, on the Russians, our intelligence agencies brought them as informants, brought them in as wanted to make them active spies, gave them jobs at Radio Free America, which I used to listen to, etc. When you were overseas, you listened to Radio Free America. So, okay, jump ahead to the pandemic. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has done a lot of research.
Real quick, did you get the video that I just texted you about? It's from my social media. Okay, so this is the video. When you're done, I would love for you to watch
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on Russell Brand. I encourage everybody to listen. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. looks at what really happened with this pandemic.
Yeah.
Why were there shutdowns when no health bureaucracy from the CDC, the NIH, to the World Health Organization was advocating?
Can we talk about this on YouTube, by the way?
Nobody's advocating for this. Nobody.
Yeah.
But we did it. And according to Robert Kennedy Jr., with a great deal of documented research, the NSA and the CIA essentially took control of this pandemic. They knew it was a lab leak back in 2019. That was the only logical explanation. They pushed forward the idea that this was that was a racist thing to say, and anybody who said it had to be deplatformed, they got their claws into big tech.
Big tech do it, dude. Bidding. He's coming over to your side, and you want to. It's ridiculous.
I'm shutting up. I'm letting him go.
Sam was right about this, and whatever's going on in the conspiracy theory community, they seem to be getting information that I'm not getting until about 2 years later, and it's driving me fucking nuts. Sam, ring the fucking bell.
Yay!
Ring the bell. Because, and I want to say this last thing. Last thing.
Big moments.
The founding fathers said, you cannot allow a military organization. You cannot allow the standing military. You can't allow its subsidiaries, and I consider the CIA a subsidiary of that. You cannot allow an unaccountable government agency with that kind of power with a blank check from NSA to CIA to any of to DOD to have power over civilian infrastructure, over civilian oversight. You can't have military people telling civilians what to do.
Right.
It is anti-American. It is anathema to this country, to the grand experiment. And the reason you can't is because people in power who are not accountable will do whatever the fuck it takes, not only to stay in power, but to impose their agenda, whether it's good intentions or bad, the road to hell. The road to hell.
Yeah.
And you get these lockdowns and you get this stuff because people who are faceless, nameless, and no accountability, powerful, and unaccountable, have control.
That to me is the biggest thing.
And the media is not doing its job. Big tech's not doing its job. And as the civilians have given the deep state way too much power.
Yeah.
And
we just have.
The craziest thing about this whole thing is just how much spit Bryan has in his mouth because he put that.
I don't want to say anything, dude.
He sounds like
you're slurring. Maybe you should take it out.
I forgot how to talk.
Okay, you should take him out. That is the funniest thing ever. I didn't want to say anything because Bryan was on a roll. I was enjoying it, totally. Even though it was the sloppiest.
Oh, and one more thing about my jaw. I've been doing jaw exercises.
Why?
Because I read this thing that they said it changed your facial structure. And my jaws. I'm losing my jaw, so I'm chewing on rubber. I'm going.
Why? At what point are you? What point are you?
No, I'm gonna get my. I want. You gotta always work out every muscle in your body.
I get
including your fucking face.
I get it, bro.
Fight gravity, motherfuckers, and fight the unaccountable, the all-powerful deep state. Roll tape on Alex Jones.
Bryan, this is. I forget what year this came out, but it was a long time ago. But this is about, I believe, the former FBI agent who was found dead in a river. This is what he had to say and I want to know, have you ever heard this before? Have you ever heard somebody say what he's saying? So let's just go through it.
Man, that guy, I'd hear him say this stuff 25, 30 years ago. I thought he was
Ted Gunderson, right?
Nuts, except I kept researching and finding it was true. A little short clip, resurfaced on Twitter, where he lays out every damn thing that was going to go down. So, former FBI agent, head of the Los Angeles sector, Ted Gunderson, says the Bilderberg, this is in 1996, and New World Order Illuminati is behind all of the heinous crimes against humanity. Here's the clip.
I personally investigated the Oklahoma City bombing case. Huge cover-up. Jack Kennedy's assassination, huge cover-up. Bobby Kennedy's assassination, huge cover-up. World Trade Center.
The first one.
Okay. Terrorism. They're using it as an excuse to take away our constitutional rights and our civil liberties. The Illuminati, Bilderberg, New World Order, globalists are the element behind us. It dovetails into the satanic movement, and this movement has infiltrated into our intelligence community, the once great FBI and the CIA.
Then 3 years ago, they released the Finders case emails. The FBI released thousands of pages, and everything he told me about that was true.
Yeah.
Is it possible that clip was a fake voiceover?
No.
Is it a deep fake?
No.
Might be, right?
No.
Might be.
No.
Surface now.
You just can't go all the way, can you?
But you know what I mean?
No. Do you know he's found dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill himself?
Yeah. Surprisingly, after he said that.
Yeah, but that looks like his voice was dubbed. I hate to say it. I don't think that was him.
You are so cute, bro. You are so cute. You just can't. So what's going to happen, Bryan? What's going to happen is somebody will go on Joe Rogan Experience, talk about that clip, and you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe it's real.
Well,
like, can we pin this conversation?
I'd have to have that clip verified.
Okay, bro. Verify it, Bryan.
I'm a little, and also when he says huge cover up, huge cover up, huge cover up, where even though I do think the deep state behaves in this way, in an irresponsible way, or is exercising
Bryan, can I ask
power,
you something?
The idea that there aren't terrorists.
Can I ask you something, Bryan?
Yes.
Would you say that the U.S. military-industrial complex, not the U.S. government, not the U.S. people, but the U.S. military-industrial complex, has done things, has fudged numbers, stories, just made up fake stories to bring in war in which millions of people have died. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions.
Well, I think so let's just take the invasion of Iraq. And the uranium story,
Right.
The yellow cake uranium.
Can I get into what I'm trying to say, though?
Yeah.
So, but the question that I have for you is, do you think that these people that are willing to take lives over there wouldn't do it here? Do you think that they just have this border?
I do think, I just don't, it's harder to get away with here.
Is it?
I think so. But I do think, yes.
In what sense?
Well, we have a very robust assassination
Bryan,
program.
if the intelligence agency, let's say in this la fantasy land, right, commits the act, who is going to investigate that act?
Well, that's
Would it be the intelligence agency that committed the act?
Is very fucking important, because I think that for the first time in a long time, these are questions that should be actually taken seriously, because
we've been taking them seriously.
I don't know where the fuck the accountability comes from, and I don't know who's reporting on these people, and I don't know who's watching the NSA. I know I had a guy on who wrote a couple books about the NSA. I know that the NSA definitely doesn't seem to be following.
Well,
a lot
Bryan,
of the
just so
rules.
you know, I've created a couple coloring books about this stuff, so I have some books as well.
Really good.
Okay, I'm making children conspiracy coloring books. Yeah, I actually do have a comic book
like
coming
that.
out. But listen, to me.
But I mean, I think
So-
I think that I would take your question seriously.
I mean, look at the anthrax scare, and this is a story, the anthrax scare of 2001, in which the right and the left comes together, and break it.
He was a guy. They think the guy who did it was a guy who.
No, Bryan. That's what they sold us. The reality is that the only weaponized anthrax came from a military base in Utah or New Mexico. So at the end of the day, what we have is an agency committing stuff. And by the way, the only people who got sent the anthrax were the two people that were anti-Patriot Act.
Well, when they were sent anthrax, they also had instructions to take Cipro right away.
Well, and Bryan, a fun fact which you will never recognize until someone on the Joe Rogan Experience says this, is that the entire Bush administration was taking pharmaceuticals that help, I don't want to say vax, but they were taking prescription medication that helps you with anthrax attacks.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true. But that was because everybody was waiting for another attack. What I think
no, Bryan, this was before the attack. This is before the anthrax was sent out. They were already on the drug.
Right, but after 9/11, there was already talk about a military, a chemical attack and germ warfare. I remember that. But more importantly,
do you remember who investigated that attacks, Bryan?
Well, so
Robert Mueller.
Yeah, what I think...
I'm trying to be more wacky on this show, too. I would like to be more like Zany Morning Zoo, because I feel like sometimes...
You already are zany and wacky.
I'm trying... Am I too serious on the show,
You're
Bryan?
definitely not, because you bring in chicken snake gods and Antarctica.
I'm trying to be more zany. I want to be zany with like all the successful
comedians. You bring Lucifer
comedians.
into the conversation.
I want to be zany like the guys who sell tickets in Mississippi.
I think that people... So... I think that for example, the invasion of Iraq, I think you chalk it up to this. I chalk it up to people who had the
What do
arrogance.
I chalk it up to?
Well, I think people had the arrogance in the administration.
Okay.
In the administration to actually believe that they could, and they did to an extent, restructure the Middle East.
Okay.
Restructure it.
Do you know why I think we went into Iraq?
Why?
Because it was ancient Mesopotamia, and they wanted to get all the ancient artifacts and knowledge. And there's a good chance that there was a Stargate in which we could time travel, and that was the weapon of mass destruction.
And we're off to crazy land, and we're off to crazy land, and we were so close, but now we're off to crazy land.
Well,
What?
let's think some more about all of those people now.
Dude, there's a Stargate in Iraq.
There's a
Saddam
Stargate
Hussein
in
had
Iraq.
it. They stole all
And
the
they
artifacts.
believe in magic.
The Sumerian artifacts from the museums.
The top brass believes in magic. The top brass believes in Satan, and they sacrifice
Moloch.
children.
Moloch.
They drink blood from babies. They put a straw in their tummy, straw in their tummy, straws in their tummy, straws in their tummy. Did you have your baby shake? Did you have your baby shake?
Can we do
Sorry, but that's Sam's now off again to crazy land.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Here we go.
can we do a little bit of a palate cleanser, a lemon sorbet of sorts?
Yes.
Perfect. Oh, Bryan. Bryan sent us this, and I could hear the jizzing.
Well, I mean, it's how I mean it's.
So just take a
It's
watch.
unfair that I didn't get any.
Bryan,
of
do you
that.
think this guy could help Kid Dynamite feel better?
I think that in her worst day, she'd go, "I'm not sick anymore." Look at that.
Look at that guy, Bryan.
He is
Bryan, would you
fucked.
say you honestly, can we be honest right now? Are you sexually attracted to that?
I'm not sexually attracted to him. Would I rub him down in oil? Of course. Would I be his oil boy? Of course. But would I put beard? Would I put butter in his beard? Of course. And would I have his meals prepared just so? Because I promise you, he eats clean, bro. Would I have his meals prepared just so? Because he prepares his meals. He eats clean, bro. You understand? I would have his meals prepared just so because he eats his meals clean, bro.
Okay,
He
man.
eats clean, bro.
Somebody
Yeah.
someone's kind of lost blood to his skull because he's so rock
mornings
hard.
I'd be up early. I'd be washed. I'd be cleaned. I would wear something very, very crisp. I would wear a suit and a tie, and I would be his valet. And I would say, I don't know what his name is, but
Bryan, does the sparkling of the sweat on his body touch you in your special places?
Well,
does it make you kind of like start to feel like
as his
a little tickle?
as his vassal / valet,
Yeah.
I separate myself from that. I'm in a position of service. I would have his beard butter laid out. I would have his body oils laid out. My hands would be very surgically clean, because he needs to be rubbed down as a man. I would do it as a straight man, of course.
Bryan, you love cucking, huh? Look
No,
at that,
I
Bryan. Bryan, can you focus right now?
Here's my problem.
With all that chocolate
He's a
pudding, can you focus, bro?
Well, he's a little too jacked.
Oh, too jacked?
God,
Yeah.
thanks for saying it.
Little
I
too
mean, what
jacked.
are we talking about?
I would
here?
say to him, I would gently nudge him in the natural direction. I'd say, let's say,
Is that some testosterone? Do you think testosterone?
that's a very muscular man naturally.
Yeah.
But I promise you, he's running gear.
Okay.
There's no doubt that he's running gear.
I want to run some gear.
Yeah. But that you and I wouldn't look that way. That's already crazy genetics.
Yeah.
On top of a lot of lifting, a lot of work, a lot of muscle maturity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I got bad angles.
And then it's amplified.
Yeah.
With just the perfect cocktail of something or other.
Okay.
I
Do you think
guarantee his
that
test is high already.
Do you think that he could make the cover of a magazine?
If he's not on the cover of a magazine, I'm going to write to all the magazines.
Well, let's talk about this magazine.
This is Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. We have now hit that Martha Stewart is a swimsuit model
Unbelievable.
on Sports Illustrated. Bryan, what does this tell you? What does this say to you?
Well, let me start by saying that both BuzzFeed and Vice filed for bankruptcy. And do you know why? Because the woke took them over and started pretending that the world was as they see it.
Yeah.
And the rest of us went, this isn't true.
Right.
I'm getting no news from this. I'm getting some activists' attitude. Not even thoughts, but because they don't have thoughts.
Yeah.
They have attitudes.
Yeah.
They're regurgitating what their gender,
Right.
queer study,
Right.
black studies, whatever they took in college, they're just regurgitating their radicalized professor's
Right.
point of view, who also has never had any world experience. So the rest of us look at it and go, America is not that.
Yeah.
America is, in fact, way, way less racist and divided than you people are acting like it is.
100%.
And so now they're telling me that beauty, that I should be, that everybody can be a swimsuit model.
Yeah.
And that if you're an old lady,
Yeah.
billionaire,
Yeah.
your body's beautiful too.
Yeah.
And that I should be just as attracted to her. And what's funny about this, every single time they have someone like this on, they do whatever they can. They get as close to traditional beauty as they can with all the makeup. So it's like every time I talk to a vegan, they're like, this tastes just like meat, dude.
Yeah.
It tastes just like meat. Or a guy who can't afford a Porsche, who
Yeah.
buys a Mitsubishi, goes,
Yeah.
it's just as fast as the
Yeah.
Porsche.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, I know, but it's not a Porsche.
But
and
it's
I know
not.
it's not me.
Right.
And she's not a 25-year-old alien with
Yeah.
a bone structure that makes me my
Like
hands
that
sweat.
gives boners to 100-year-old people.
To no one.
Right. So the guys who are like 100 years
Even
old, she's
100-year-olds would
she's
rather
like,
fuck-
look at that young filly.
Nope, even 100-year-olds.
Do you know what this says to me? You know what this says to me? That Sports Illustrated as a business is dead, and that the brand itself has name recognition, so they'll do stuff like this to cause chaos.
I don't
That's what it
understand
says.
why they're doing it. I don't
Well, I
understand
mean,
why
like
every
ultimately,
corporation
like
is
you know,
doing this.
for her age, she is a beautiful woman for her age. But you know what people don't understand is that like modeling is like the pro athletes of females, right? Like these are the Victoria's Secret models are the NBA players of modeling. They're like the best of the best. This is where the best of the best go. We look at this as the best of the best. The problem with Sports Illustrated is that this type of product, tantalizing half-naked women, is like oversaturated today. I can go on Instagram and literally see the hue of a girl's butthole now, and for likes and clicks. That even if it was a hot chick, does nothing to
It's
anybody.
true. Nobody's buying the swimsuit issue because I can go with one click.
Yeah.
See girls that are like on Instagram. Some of those girls are so impossibly hot.
Impossibly
You're
hot.
like, what the fuck?
Like
is
they're
going
so hot.
on?
So then you go like about 10, 15 years ago, I don't know when the first episode came out, but ESPN one-upped Sports Illustrated and they did the naked issue
Yeah, that
where they
was
would
good.
have pro
Those were
athletes
good.
get naked, right? Yeah. But even that has no place in culture anymore because half the chicks on Instagram are naked now.
Well, you're bringing up a really good point. I think these sort of institutions, these calcified, like dinosaur institutions that have been around for so long, are just making themselves irrelevant with this stuff.
Well, which brings
Nobody's
us into
buying
our
that.
next video.
Yeah, but really quickly though, Sam is correct that we waged war in the Middle East to find a Stargate.
Oh, thank you.
I've just been doing some digging, and he's actually correct.
Thank you.
about that.
I mean, you guys just don't understand how deep it goes.
May I see some evidence?
You guys have no clue how deep this goes.
We don't really need to get into it.
I agree.
But
he
you
is-
saw it on the internet.
2 out of
but
3 people on the show think it's a fact.
Yeah, yeah.
So
What's a Stargate?
Stargate is a portal to heaven, the heavens. Really? And, yeah.
other dimensions, other parts of the universe, whatever that may be.
Really?
Yeah. They're portals.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, you know, in Arizona, they have a portal. There's different
It's
places.
pronounced Arizona.
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 But just really quickly, and we don't need to get into it, but that's an example of a Stargate.
Yeah, for sure. Look at that right there. Obviously, military came and destroyed it because, you know, we're seeing that this modern day Molochian dark arts occult movement is going around and destroying ancient artifacts because they don't want us to know how special we truly are.
Do you want to?
Is there any way to see Martha Stewart?
You want to see her portal? You want to see her Stargate?
No, sir.
Do you want to ring?
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, he didn't get to ring the bell for that, dude.
Yeah, no, he
if 2
does.
out of 3 believe it.
God damn it, Dylan.
Bang, bro. Yeah. All I do is win, win, win no matter what,
No.
bro. I am winning. Today is like
you're
a
winning
great day.
You're winning
Today,
What would you like to see?
today.
A couple more Martha pictures?
Yeah, let's see it. Let me see that ass. Let me see what she's
No,
working with.
Let's not see that, but let's just see.
Mama, I'd hit it.
She takes care of herself.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
when she was
billionaire
younger-
snatch
when she
right
was
there.
younger, look her up. She was gorgeous when she was younger.
Do you think she makes you sign an NDA and anything that says you don't get any of her money when you just pound that?
I don't know, Sam, but stop
When
doing
you just
that.
go to
Don't do
Pound
that
Town?
I can't answer that question.
Who do you think is better in bed? More of a virtuoso in bed, her or some thought on Instagram?
Yeah,
Probably
I
Martha.
bet you that chick.
Well, Martha Stewart, it was so ambitious. She's such an ambitious person that my guess is she probably would marry somebody that furthered her status.
How old is
and
she,
power.
by the way? Because I want to know how old Snoop Dogg is, too, because I think they boned at some point.
No, I think Martha Stewart would date only sort of a CEO. She's one of those people, you know, those actresses that only date other famous actors?
Yeah.
Because they can't get enough light on their
Yeah.
face. They just can't.
Yeah.
They need as much as possible. Like they'd never date a civilian.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez is an example.
Yeah.
They would never date a civilian. It's just like, nah.
Well, you know who did? Julia Roberts, like the grip on the set.
And she's been with him ever since.
Yeah.
She's a different situation.
Martha's 81. I think she looks incredible for 81.
Incredible.
Look at her when she was younger.
I knocked the bottom out of it.
This is, excuse me.
I mean, she was a gorgeous woman. What she did was amazing, but make no mistake, there's a killer. There's a killer behind that face.
Yeah, 100. You have to be.
Yeah.
To get to that level, you have to be cutthroat.
Yes.
Can you imagine just having a nice roast chicken with her?
She's very.
Yeah.
My friend
and then
had.
you
My
gotta
friend
stuff
my friend
it.
had dinner.
What, bro?
My friend had lunch with her.
Yeah.
He and his friend had lunch with her at her house.
Yeah.
And he said that it was the most incredible lunch, and she did it all herself.
Yeah. Just a dream.
Like she just every
oh my
detail.
God! I bet she sucks a mean dick.
God
I
damn
just
it.
don't understand
What?
it, though.
I bet she just knows how to work your nuts.
81-year-old woman.
Don't be disrespectful.
So following this, we got 80-year-old Martha Stewart just taking pictures of her snatch.
Oh, come on.
Sports Illustrated. Okay.
Can you beep all that
Okay.
stuff
I'm
out?
not going to beep it, but you could card him. I mean,
You don't got no red cards, bro.
No, you're getting a red card.
No, you can't go rate
You're
the
not
red
allowed to
card.
be, you're not allowed to be this rude.
no, there are straight reds.
Are there?
Yeah, there are straight
Especially if you're
reds.
going to be gross about,
Martha Stewart's
an
fucking
icon.
clam.
Yeah, so you're continuing. So we're at 30:05. Just stop for 30 seconds, and I'll tell Brian that this is
I just
the
want
new.
to say that I don't
Yeah.
condone that, and Sam is the problem. And when you're a celebrity, you have to deal with the baser elements of society. And is right here. And he is being incredibly base with all his language. And we should have a every time he opens his mouth and is rude. So I want you to put
Every time he talks.
yeah, and cover his mouth with a blur because he deserves to have his zany, wacky mouth blurred. And when he talks, it should say this because there's about as much substance in as in what he says.
You're good.
That was just way longer than 30 seconds,
It
bro.
was.
You're a manipulator.
It was.
You're a saboteur, bro.
What's that image on the screen there?
Okay, so Brian, as you know, the whole Dylan Mulvaney situation with Anheuser-Busch has caused chaos to them. Well, Miller Lite has decided to say, and this is Luke Rudowski's tweet, to say, hold my beer. And so they've decided to see if they could maybe not outwoke Anheuser-Busch, but just hang there with them at the bar. So this is a campaign that just came out. This is starring one of the girls from Broad City, who is very funny. The show was successful, I think. And she also has, I know her from also Sesame Street. She appeared on Sesame Street a couple times. Of course, I have young children. Used to watch Sesame Street all the time with them. But here is their new campaign that Miller Lite thought's going to help them sell a bunch of beer. So here we go.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever. From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis. Wow. Look at this wild. It's time beer made it up to women. So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their but the whole beer industry's Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this and buying it back so that they can turn it into good for women brewers. Literally, good How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad into compost. Then we feed compost to worms. Push out beautiful fertilizer. That good helps farmers grow quality hops, which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good
But there's definitely more out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any you got into Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good too. Oh, so here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
Okay, stop this. Stop. Before we're going to play, does Brian think this is bad? Or is Brian somehow figuring out how this is good? So here we go. 3, 2. I say Brian's going to figure out a way that think this is kind of creative and fuck. Nope. Okay.
I don't buy it. I also think so men didn't invent beer. Huh?
Yeah, it's
And
so
men didn't brew
hilarious.
beer. It's adorable. It's exactly, so I equate this with every time I see a fucking new action show with a woman who's an assassin who beats up dudes with her bare hands.
How about the Punisher or the Enforcer, whatever that is, with Queen Latifah, who is well into her 50s and she's fighting crime.
It's great. It's hilarious. So it's women taking on these traditional male roles. And I don't mind women saying, "Hey, this is I am woman. Hear me roar." If you want to make a video like
Bryan,
that,
now
my problem
this
is I
is
don't
where
buy it.
finally
I don't buy it.
the real
that girl,
Bryan
that
came out.
woman.
Yeah.
You see her special on Amazon? Did you see her special?
No.
They gave her a special.
Well, I don't.
I don't want to be mean, but
it doesn't matter. I don't get mad at her. I get mad at.
I don't either. I don't have anything against her. I don't. But I mean, what I'm saying is that this is a talented lady. But what Amazon did was they gave her a special way before she was ready. This is not somebody who was doing enough stand-up.
Right.
I can speak on this.
Yeah.
There are women out there that'll crush a room.
Yeah.
Okay. And they put in their years because that's what it takes. They gave that woman an hour on Amazon.
Yep.
And
that's gonna get clipped.
And I watched
But
it didn't go so well.
But that's not even my issue.
I'm not putting her down. What I'm saying is that these big organizations are forcing, shoehorning certain demographics into positions where they're not ready yet.
Yes.
I'm not saying that. I'm talking about in this case. I'm not saying women can't be as funny as men. I'm not saying
even get obviously.
But this is
basically who cares, right?
This is basically making it so men are shitheads.
Yes.
And so I won't be drinking Miller Lite because I don't like the spirit.
You're going to be down to, who's never going to let you down? Sam Adams.
Okay, so this is the thing. My father only drinks Coors Light. He doesn't drink water. He just drinks Coors Light.
Yeah.
Respect.
And there is a shortage in rural Virginia right now.
Because no one's drinking Bud Light.
No one's drinking Bud Light. So now nobody's drinking Miller Lite. So Coors is really the only option.
Has this messed with Miller too?
I mean, This
just came out.
Comes out. Yeah,
this just came out. But let's and by the way, this was them like let's do some woke shit, but let's not like torpedo ourselves and commit seppuku. But here's the thing.
I like that at least it's women. It's not trans. It's like they're pro women.
What's interesting about this, Bryan, is the narrative of this thing is that women are tired of being treated like sex objects. So what they're saying is it is bad when a man pays women to wear bikinis and push beer, but society says it is great when men pay women to get naked and finger blast themselves on OnlyFans. Like, what world are we? What dimension is this commercial from? Not this dimension where I can tell the hue of a woman's beehole based on her Instagram pictures, okay? The notion, you know who doesn't like being treated like sex objects? Unfuckable women. That's who it is. Because they can't. Nobody wants to treat them like sex. They have to earn everything they have. So this notion that these women are somehow being treated like crap. Women, you know what's so funny, Bryan? During the pandemic when we were all locked down, guess who wasn't locked down? Hot chicks on fucking yachts. That's who wasn't locked down. I was like staying at home with my kids and I'm watching these chicks like just living that best life. Like hot chicks in bikinis everywhere, okay? But you're telling me this is degrading? Is that what you're telling me?
Listen,
in what dimension?
All you got to say is this, and Bill Burr said it beautifully. You don't know anybody who plays in the WNBA, but the Kardashians who basically get all the plastic surgery to accentuate their
tits
and ass and sell cream and get their lips pumped up, and they look like as they try to look as much like a fuck doll as possible. They're making billions of dollars.
This is from a different time.
Whenever you're having this, it's just the rise of the new Puritans. God bless. And
you're totally right about the left.
It just creates a whole nother backlash. That now women who are selling their tits and ass are probably doing this, because it's like. It's just
unbelievable to me that like we live in this era where everything is a sex object. unless you can't be a sex object. Then you dye your hair blue and you leave pro-choice rallies. That's what you do, okay? Yeah. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. There were ancient tablets uncovered dated to 8000 BC showing the original brewers of beer were women. The Sumerians even had a goddess of beer called Ninkasi.
Listen, God damn it.
Okay.
God damn it.
All right.
Look, Sam Adams was trans, and I don't want to say this.
Brian, you're right, Dylan.
Sam Adams was
just
trans.
Everything that we know about beer was just not totally right, and that women originated beer.
Should we?
And the only reason women may originate beer is because men were out hunting for food, and they want to come back and have a little bit of liquor so they can bang their wives. Okay.
Should we talk about another confusing goalpost moving in our culture?
Yes, please. I'm loving this. By the way, I'm crushing.
Yeah, you're doing well today. You're doing well.
I feel like I'm bringing that heat.
Sam's doing well today.
Yeah, Sam's doing really good. The Cleopatra show is not doing well. It's not being received well.
Well, because she's black and Cleopatra wasn't black.
Bro, this is hilarious. And by the way, when I sent you this, it was at 1%. The audience review. Now,
1%?
Here's the thing, Brian. You can go, well, there's probably not a lot of people that have voted, so it's easy to torpedo it. Look how many people have voted on that thing to get 2%. It is, at the time I sent to you, over 2,500.
So Cleopatra was clearly Egyptian, so she was Arabic, and they're having a problem with the fact that this was a black woman?
Well, the problem is this, Brian, is that let's just say in some world that this show is actually good, right? Let's just say that. It's an actually great show that did an actual great job depicting Cleopatra. But the problem is now caught up in this cultural war of them flipping everything from a white character to a black character. So I went and saw John Wick the other day. And by the way, the John Wick movies will be the new Van Damme, Steven Seagal movies, where we look back going, why did people love this so much?
Well, I mean, Bloodsport is a magnificent movie.
Right. But it's like,
I heard John Wick 4 is really good.
I just saw it.
Good?
It's great if you're willing to suspend any kind of beliefs about firearms. Right? It's like, it's great. It's unbelievable. And if you don't care for quality dialogue and you're just like bang, bang, pow, that's all you want.
It's not my kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, and by the way, I go to see John Wick. Every trailer is an ethnic version of a movie you already saw. Like, there's this hilarious Asian Chinese movie about to come out with just chicks, and it's really fucking funny. But it's all Asian chicks, which makes
I've been watching Asian, I'm watching Sanctuary on Netflix, which is about sumo wrestlers. It's a drama.
I've heard.
It's a dramedy about sumo. Fuck, it's good. It's so funny and weird.
Really?
Yeah, it's so funny and weird.
But it's like every single one of these trailers was a ethnic version of a movie that already starred white people. Like, it's hilarious. Like, if you really break down Fast and the Furious, it is just Cannonball Run. That's all it really is. And just fast cars go boom, tits and ass. Sure. But now it's all like ethnic people. And then they had Saw, which normally was white people. Now they got a really crazy black version of it, which is a little bit of comedy that looks funny, but it's just the black version of it.
It's Hollywood saying we have these populations that want to see themselves represented.
So I'm walking to the movie theater, and they have all these kind of like advertisements, big advertisements, displays for movies coming up. Spider-Man display is now a black kid, okay? And The Little Mermaid's now a black woman. Now, individually, these things don't mean anything. They're fictional characters, and who cares, right? Who cares? But when you put it all together and you study the history of cultural Marxism, this is about completely changing what Grandpa knows and what his grandkids know. So Grandpa can give no advice to the grandchildren. So Grandpa cannot offer them any kind of wisdom to help them succeed in the next level.
I agree with you.
That's what this is all about. And when people just lose their mind because people are like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are now black. I don't even remember they're turtles.
So it's 3D chess so that wisdom can't be passed from generation to generation?
Yes.
I believe that.
As we pretend that we're on our way.
Dude, are you ridiculous? Can I red card Dylan? Are we allowed to red card Dylan?
I'm going to red card you.
Yeah, right. You are red card.
Wait, no, you need to explain yourself. You don't think that's true?
I don't think it's 3D chess. I think it's...
How about 5D then?
No, I think it's myopic, stupid decision-making. It's not even stupid. Miles Morales is Latinx black. It's fine.
Dylan, the problem with
you're
that
falling for it.
is Bryan. No, Dylan, because what you're saying is that all this just naturally had happened. Like when I watch a commercial.
Well, I think equity is the problem with equity is that in the Academy Awards starting in 2024 will no longer accept movies. Think about this.
But
no longer.
By the way, that's a nice suicide note.
That don't have. I know that don't have people of color behind the scenes. A certain number of people of color behind the scenes and on screen.
Yes.
So you're just making artists. You know, like you're basically it's a form of censorship and racism.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, that may not be the right person for the part. I'm writing what I write.
That's
I don't know how to write for black people or Asian
No, but
people.
but
I'm trying.
You know who diversity helps? Mediocre people. Because the people who are like, there are great entertainers of every demographic that really don't need to be like shoehorned into this.
I just don't understand this DEI stuff and ESG. I don't understand it, man.
Well, so let's go back real quick to this Miller Lite thing and the Bud Light thing. Like, I'm starting to think that it is actually more profitable to get a high ESG score and get funding from BlackRock than it is to actually sell a product.
Might be in the short run.
And here's the thing that's crazy that most people don't understand. BlackRock is just basically taking people's retirement funds and just investing them for them into these projects that are making no money.
Well, that's a large part of it is when you have a pension fund, you want the person handling your pension fund to invest it in, and you want the state to invest it in, or the municipality that is entrusting these investors to invest in the best entities to get a return on your money. You don't want them putting politics in that decision because you cannot just shoehorn your idea of ESG and whatever the other one is. You can't do that because that's exactly like what you said. I need to know. I want bottom line numbers.
Yeah.
I don't want you putting your money into something that just because it checks a box.
So what we're finding out, Bryan, is actual sales versus stock price aren't connected anymore. Because what can happen is like you can have a complete collapse of your market, and then these investors come in and just keep buying your stock.
Well, of course. Okay, so Grubhub, Uber, they've never turned a profit. Do you know that? You know that DoorDash never turned a profit? They've never turned a profit. Do you know why that they're valued at so much money? Because venture capitalists put all their money into it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a manipulation.
But the reason venture capitalists keep putting their money into Uber and stuff is because they're waiting for cars to be fully automatic. When they're automated fully, and you don't have to worry about drivers and pay them any kind of like salary or benefits, then it'll be profitable. So the idea is a lot of these institutions are taking this 30-year bet, and it's like putting your money into like a 30-year thing. But that's kind of what they're doing.
Well, I can't wait to not use Uber then.
Yeah.
Do you guys care to listen to this this conversation between a guy named Ernest Darling, who wrote the case for cancel culture, and Bassem Youssef on this Cleopatra thing, or should we just move?
Yes, I do.
I would love to. Thank you.
All right. So I guess the issue here is that is there a difference between a fictional character and a historical figure? Is the debate.
Yeah, I think that this is ridiculous. I think that she is in full range to play Cleopatra. I think people should remember that there was controversy when the late, great Elizabeth Taylor played Cleopatra, and people thought that it was inaccurate for a white woman like her to play the character. History has said that there is some racial ambiguity around Cleopatra's identity. She's definitely not white. And I think to even assume that Egyptians do not carry some level of African ancestry that can have darker skin.
This guy's great.
Is also
He's just loving this.
So I think she's
just
more the ideal of what Cleopatra would look like more than Elizabeth Taylor would be.
I agree with him.
And you didn't see as much backlash for Elizabeth Taylor playing Cleopatra.
But I agree with him.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So let me go to you, Bess. I mean, that is a fair point. Liz Taylor was the biggest movie star in the world at the time she played Cleopatra. She was not Egyptian. What's the difference?
Well, first of all, this was Hollywood before it was informed. This is where 1961, when Cleopatra by Elizabeth Taylor, we're not crazy about Elizabeth Taylor playing Cleopatra either. That was also inaccurate. I don't know where do you get the idea that we're happy that she played the role. As a matter of fact,
I agree with that.
1961 Cleopatra movie was banned in Egypt and many Arab countries because of Elizabeth Taylor's stance towards the state of Israel because they supported them. So I don't know where does he get this information. Second of all, this is the same Hollywood that in 1956 they cast John Wayne as Genghis Khan. So this is a time where Hollywood didn't know any better. Now, the problem for me, it's not about color. It's not about white and black. This is a very reductive way to talk about things. This is the way that Americans talk about it. I'm very sorry. Like, I come from Egypt. Egypt has a very diverse color palette. People can look like me or they can look deeper skin tone like Anwar Sadat, who comes from a Nubian origin. It's not about black and white. It's about the continuous culture appropriation and falsification of history that has been done by what the so-called Afrocentrist movement. The Afrocentric movement started the last century as a way, in a good intention, to teach African American about their rich history of West Africa, the great empire of Benin, of Ghana, of Songhali, the great empire of Mali. But the thing is, that's why you find people like Kevin Hart, who subscribes to these theories, who claim that his ancestors built the pyramids. I'm sorry, your ancestors had their own wonderful civilization in West Africa. They are culture appropriating my culture, calling the people of Egypt of today, despite their skin tone, that they call us as invaders, they call us as intruders, and they are being erased from.
Look at him, he's like, I just smelled the fart.
Something that Hollywood has done over the years.
Understand, but let me throw this back at you. There's this point that we've had so many cases now where people talk about appropriation with actors, be it their sexuality, be it their gender on occasion, be it whatever it may be. And ultimately, I always come back to one point, which is, shouldn't actors do what their job description is? Act. I mean, shouldn't any actor be able to play?
Yeah, there is something to that. You know,
I want you to show a picture of Anwar Sadat, and then I want to show Anwar Sadat was the assassinated president of Egypt. Okay. So when you go to Egypt, if you're in Egypt, you will find plenty of black people. Let me show you what Anwar Sadat looks like. Yeah. So you see, that's Sadat. You see him?
Yeah.
So that was very.
It looks like George Jefferson.
He was very African.
Moving on up.
He was Nubian.
To the top.
Yeah, he was very African looking, and he was the president. So. Bring up that actress and bring up the actress who plays Cleopatra. So it's not, to me, I don't see what the big backlash is. I mean,
Bryan,
they want
it's not
Arab.
by itself. By itself, it means nothing.
Right.
By itself. What it is exactly what that guy is talking about.
I bet you that's exactly what Cleopatra looked like. That woman looks like a combination of Arabic and African.
But Bryan, but it's not being sold as that. Well, it's being sold as this is a black woman playing Cleopatra, and it's done to cause maximum damage. I'm telling you, I'm sure this woman did a great job.
They're not giving the Arab. Yeah, they're.
But this is all about rewriting history, so you and your grandparents don't have the same information.
Yeah,
that's what this is all about.
But he goes.
You're saying it's not just an artistic choice; it's a propagandist choice.
Yeah, but going back to Dylan talking smacks, the snarky one over there. But it's like, are you telling me that every commercial, the best actor happened to be a black man and a white woman every time? Like every time, every commercial, it just happens to fall that way.
Equity is real. They're shoehorning,
but it's being done on purpose. It's not just. It's like meritocracy. That's what we want. It's called
cultural Marxism.
There we go. Ideology. That's what we're talking about.
But he goes on to say that they were going to cast Gal Gadot as Cleopatra, which would...
She's Israeli. That would have been a big problem for Egyptians.
But she looks like she could have
But she's
been.
Israeli, and Egyptians would have lost their mind.
Yeah, he said that would have been an even bigger problem, even though she looks more like Cleopatra.
Oh, my God. They would have lost their fucking
mind.
Elizabeth Taylor caused... the entire Arab world was like, holy fuck, because she was a supporter of Israel. So Egypt and... I mean, remember, Egypt would go to war 6 years later.
Elizabeth Taylor was a supporter of Israel? Yeah. I mean, come on.
Okay. I think we should... Do we have time for one more?
Yeah.
Let's just wrap this thing up. You want to do this probe of Biden, or do you want to talk about this? Let's do the probe of Biden because we can talk about...
Because it's insanity right now. What you're telling me is that...
Bless you.
Is that they can't find the whistleblower.
Well, no, because the problem is that the question is there any evidence that Biden himself, when you look at his bank records, actually got richer? That's the question. It's his son was corrupt. There's no doubt that there was a lot of influence peddling, but Joe Biden himself didn't grow richer. Like his bank account.
That is statistically incorrect, Brian.
No, but
there is data. There's hard numbers, zeros and ones that will tell you everything coming out of your mouth right now is shiny dog shit.
Are you saying that Joe Biden, that someone took money?
Yes.
They took money and put it in his bank account? Nobody caught that?
What?
Like the president of the United States, vice president?
No, Brian. You know who put it in his bank account? Joe Biden.
I know, but what I'm saying is that if his son was doing stuff, right? So say his son's doing stuff. So his son absolutely got these jobs.
Yes.
And his family members absolutely got these jobs because those companies like China and Ukraine wanted some influence.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yes.
Okay. Now, they may have gotten some influence. Who knows?
Yeah, they did.
Now, the idea, though, that they then said, give your dad this $10 million.
So,
and then they put it in his account. He wouldn't get away with that because the accounting office would be like, excuse me,
Brian,
what the fuck is all this money doing here?
Yeah, okay, Brian. Yeah.
But they would.
I mean, what freaking world do you live in?
That's what they did?
What do you live?
You think they did that?
100 through dummy corporations. So they never knew where the money was coming from. And statistically, it was shown that Joe Biden's cash flow exploded at some point.
Let me watch this.
Okay.
Let me watch this. Because I do think that there's corruption.
Hold on a second, Congressman. Did you just say that the whistleblower or the informant is now missing?
Well, we're hopeful that we can find the informant. Now, remember, these informants are kind of in the spy business.
Essentially, the story was that this last piece that they needed to get it over the line is no longer... He seems to be an apparition of sorts.
Yeah. The other problem is that there are people that want to talk. The other problem is that there's there's just not enough evidence to get Biden in trouble. Like his son's going to be his son is being investigated.
And nothing's going to happen.
I think his son is going to be in trouble.
Nothing's going to happen.
You don't think so?
No. And what they're going to do is they're going to throw Joe Biden under the bus like a dead carcass to get Camel Toe Harris to step in. That's been the plan since day one. Day one. Because this is all about demoralization. She polled the lowest out of anybody running for president on the Democratic Party in 2020.
She sucks.
And they just want you to think you have no say in who runs anything.
That's right. And the border is outrageous.
Yeah.
Wasn't she the border czar?
You know, she's like, I don't need to go there.
Because
she's hot. Dude, Montel Williams' side bitch is hot garbage. And that's all I got to say about that. 100%. Hot garbage. 100%. Camel toe. Dude, there was a video of her just talking gibberish. It's so hilarious.
She didn't go to the border because cameras would follow her.
Yeah.
And they'd see how bad it is. And it's gotten so much worse under the Biden administration.
Yeah.
Frankly, it's immoral.
Yeah. All right, guys.
You won this one. I'm giving it to you.
Oh, my God. Daddy won. Guys, again, if you know anybody who lives in Mississippi, tell them to come see me. Okay, I would love that. That would help a lot. And real quick, guys, if you watch this show, hit the subscribe button. I personally think, like everything on YouTube, we're shadow banned. I do think we should start a Rumble and try to go hard on that. That's just my opinion. And
Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to shout out a fan I saw on the Wild this weekend was coming out of a store. He said, "Where's the new episode?" I think his name was Taylor. I said, "How do you know me?" He said, "Conspiracy Social Club."
Oh, damn. And Taylor, holla.
Famous.
I said, whose side are you on? He said, "It's Sam's."
There we go. I mean, that is everybody.
Do you not have, you should have a camera on you. I've told you this 10 times.
Oh, and by the way, when are we getting guests? I'm ready.
All right. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Comment. Fight the algorithm.
Comment. Help the algorithm. Share this with your friends. Subscribe. When people ask, is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes.
Who and what is controlling everything and why? They practice sorcery. I can't argue against magic.
I don't know what it is that we live on, but I believe it's a realm. This realm that we live in is the lowest level of heaven, highest level of hell.
Chicken snake gods and the Anunnaki and sorcery. If Sam says the chicken snake god is running everything, I'm literally in the world of crazy. I'm winning.
You're losing. Conspiracy Social Club, a.k.a. Deep Waters.